It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. Kicking off the show tonight. We heard something from Every Mother's Nightmare from the re-release Backtracks with Every Mother's Nightmare, The Southern Way, and also we heard a little Cinderella there from the Long Cold Winter CD, my favorite from that band, with Bad Seamstress Blues, Falling Apart at the Seams, and brand new one there from Sammy Hagar and The Circle with No Worries, and the guy apparently who has no worries coming to the mic, my good friend and partner, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
Not a care in the world, as the song says, dude. What's going on?
Not a care in the world. I see you didn't get your nap today, huh?
No, I laid down to fall asleep, but I put the wrong thing on fucking on the TV, and then I stayed up listening to it.
Well, I did the exact same thing.
What were you listening to or watching?
I was watching I had watched a documentary because you kind of piqued my curiosity a couple weeks ago when you were talking about the new HBO series Chernobyl.
Oh, yeah.
So I decided I wanted to go when I had, for some reason, these algorithms and all these goofy, tracking things. It's really weird, and I know this sounds conspiratorial, but whenever you and I are talking about something on the show or whatever, somehow that seems to pop up in my recommended watch list on YouTube.
You know why? Because YouTube is scanning every word of the videos now.
I guess they are, because all of a sudden this Chernobyl documentary popped up.
Yeah, there you go.
And so I watched it. I watched one earlier today when I woke up today, and it seemed okay. It seemed like a okay one, but then I started reading all these comments, and people were going, "Oh, they left a lot out, and this is a piece of shit." And there's a better one out there you need to watch. I can't remember the name of the series. It's a series.
Okay.
And it's a much better one. You need to watch this. It's more true to what really happened. And so I had gone out a little bit this afternoon, and then when I came back, I thought, okay, I'm going to watch this thing. I thought maybe I'll just kind of drift off and watch it. No, sure. I watched it to the end. then I came up here, up to the studio.
I put on some old Howard Stern serious years with it was like a bunch of different arty ones.
Yeah.
Focused on arty, and I thought, all right, I could just fade out to this, because I figured it's later day Stern, it won't be as interesting. Stayed right up all the way through. I was like, son of a bitch, it's fucking 7:30. What the fuck?
Yeah, I went out this afternoon. I've talked about this place before that I go to periodically when I get in the mood for a Bloody Mary.
Yeah,
this place just makes the best Bloody Marys I've ever had. I've had Bloody Marys around the country, but
sure, this
little place that's not far from where I live, I thought, man, I'm going to go down there and have a couple Bloody Marys. So I did. Okay. And usually if I have a little bit of alcohol in the afternoon, I thought, it's time for a nap, Didn't faze me.
No, it'll phase you about 1:30 in the morning. You'll be like, God damn it. In other news, this happened.
Well, you know what really makes me tired is wine.
Wine?
Yeah, wine really relaxes me, makes me tired, so I try to avoid that on show days because that really makes me sleepy. Vodka, not so much.
Yeah, well, I usually, and dude, I'm all off my fucking game tonight because I usually lately, I think I've said this on the air several times now, but I stopped drinking during the show. I know this is going to be a shocker and everybody's going to be a little surprised by this, but I really felt that getting hammered was not giving me the best opportunity to do a good show every week.
Well, to stay sharp, yeah.
Yeah, I really felt like it was causing me to slow down. I know that's probably shocking to a lot of people. It wasn't giving me extra edge, but it really wasn't. So I've been drinking coffee. Usually 8 o'clock hits, I go make a pot of coffee. I drink the pot of coffee between 8 and midnight. And then because anymore, we finish the show, and then I set up 3 different computers ripping video for the subscription service. That takes me till about 5:30 in the morning, to get that done, to get it started, because these things take forever to fucking process.
Right.
So that's been my routine. And by 5:30, the coffee's worn off and I can go ahead and get some sleep. But man, I'm all messed up. After this break, I'm going to go make some coffee. So plan 3 songs for the next break, because I'm going to definitely have to make a pot of coffee, and then I'll be all fucked up because I'm going to drink it late and, whatever. It's going to be a fucky show, folks. Get ready.
I remember, years ago, and I'll mention this because you turned me on to it, but the little FM radio station that gave me my start, WSTB. Me
too.
They're doing a little fundraising campaign because they're a listener-sponsored FM station. Mm-hmm. And, if you want to kind of support the legacy of the CMS and you want to throw a couple dollars their way, you can go over to, what is it, 88.9 WSTB? What is it?
I think so. I think honestly, I don't know. I went there, but I clicked off a video off of Fuckbook and it just took me up there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is.
Right.
It is www.rock889.com. That's the actual numbers, 889.com. So it's rock889.com.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, thinking about drinking the coffee, that used to be my routine when I used to drive to the station on Saturday. I'd get there at, here's the funny story. I used to do the normal format, their normal format. I would do that from 6 to 9.
Ugh.
And then I would do the classic metal show from 9 to 3.
Jesus Christ, 9 hours.
Yeah, so I would do the show for 9 hours. And then after, like, the second year I did that, then I said, well, can I just come in and do the classic metal show only?
Right.
And so then I started coming in at 8 o'clock in the evening, and so I would always make my trip there to they had like a BP gas station there, and they had all the flavored coffees and everything.
Sure.
And I would stop in there and get my big coffee and get my, put some of that chocolate flavor in there and stuff and get pumped for the show.
Right.
But now that I have the luxury of just walking up the stairs into my studio and doing the show, I have the luxury of enjoying some adult beverages during the show now. So
now it's a vodka cran or 6 as the show goes on.
Exactly. So yeah, I probably, I don't drink like during the first hour. I always drink water, drink a lot of water. I drink water all week long. And so probably into the second hour of the show, that's when I start. And I drink about 1 an hour. So I probably have five over a 5-hour period.
Alcoholic you.
Yeah, look at me, stumbling drunk.
How dare you drink at home by yourself?
Well, I'm not by myself. I'm surrounded by all my friends.
That's true. You got 40,000 people just clamoring to drink with you.
Yeah, exactly. But
I have a feeling most of them are drinking far more than you are.
So those of you who do the subscription video service, you watch us on camera and stuff, I'm sure that you see me sipping away at a drink.
Yep.
But that I make this concoction. I have straight cranberry juice, not the cranberry cocktail, but 100% cranberry juice.
Okay.
And I do 50-50 mix with Welch's grape juice.
Okay.
And then I mix that with vodka.
Nice.
So that's my drink.
Look at you.
So it's like a cran grape vodka drink.
Does it taste good, or has it got a weird taste?
No, it's a great taste. But and aside from the vodka, it's healthy because it's 100% grape juice, which is good for your cardiovascular.
What's the dominant taste? The grape or the cran?
Well, I tell you what, it's hard to say. It's got a taste of all of its own.
Does it have like a grape front and then like that tang of?
No, it doesn't have any aftertaste at all. It's a real good drink. So that's just my little own concoction.
I might have to try that, being that I've been thinking about turning into an alcoholic again. The only time I ever lost weight in my life was when I was fucking drinking every day. So I'm like, maybe that's the missing ingredient.
Yeah, I hear you. Well, maybe I'll bring some with me. I plan on doing the show from CMS Studio B on August, I believe, 24th.
Okay.
I am going to head over to Pittsburgh and see a game on a Friday night.
Okay.
With my sister and my brother-in-law, and it's a Zambelli fireworks show at PNC Park.
Okay.
So we're going to go to the game on Friday and then hang out a little bit in the city on Saturday. Then I'm going to head over your way, set up in a hotel there, come to your place, do the show, and then head on back to Chicagoland on Sunday.
So you're giving me 4 months to get this room in order?
Well, it's not exactly 4 months. It's about 2.
Or 2, whatever.
Yeah.
Me and math.
Exactly.
Dude, when you get, you're going to be like, what the fuck happened? Because it's now, it's definitely jerry-rigged green screen room now.
Yeah.
It is a disaster in here, but it looks okay on film now that I've figured out the green screen.
Yeah, I noticed you had a little brick background there, and you had a little Dokken logo in the back on one of the videos.
Yeah, I used the brick for one of them, and then I used various bottles.
Yeah, well, then I saw another one where you were like downtown Cleveland in front of some building or something.
In front of Brown Stadium.
Oh, is that what that was?
Yeah. Dude, I'm immersed in this fucking video.
Well, it gives you a big outlet to be creative and come up with cool, different stuff.
It's fun. I was out at Sammy Hagar on Sunday last week, and I was shooting video for the show, but not really for use on. This is how intensely sick I am with this. I wasn't shooting the video so that I'd have something to put online. I was shooting the video so that I could have a second video to replace the video that I've been using of corrosion of conformity.
Yeah, so it's the lights and stuff that are running behind the actual video.
Instead of framing my videos so that it's like the singer or whatever in the middle, I'm framing the lighting so that it's at the top of the screen so that it'll show better when I'm making these videos. I'm really, really addicted to this video production right now, man. It's the first time in a while I've really felt like I could do something creative and fun and different. And, I've bought way too much software already trying to figure out the right software to use. And, I think I'm on program number 4, that I've been trying to get the right mix, but I like the way the videos are looking. And I think as I learn more, it's just going to get better and better.
Yeah. Well, we have entered a new phase, and we got to stay up with the latest technology. And, people are going to, we've had people ask for years about video, and now it's here.
Yeah. And it's fun, and it's I don't know, have you taken the time, obviously you've watched a little bit, have you taken the time to kind of watch like a full segment of us doing it now?
Well, the only one, I think I did watch a couple of full segments, some of the shorter ones.
Yeah.
And then I watched the compilation video thing.
Yeah, those look good, don't they?
Yeah, they look real good.
Yeah, I'm real happy with that. And that was a fan request, and I'll tell you who it was. It was D from the chat room that asked me if we would ever consider doing a best of show every week. And I was like, no, that's too much extra work. But now that I'm sitting in front of the video and I know how to do it better, it's really not that much work. So it's like, okay, I'll put this out, and it's a good tool for people. If people want to subscribe to the subscription service, cool. If they don't, that's cool too. If they're not sure, they get nice little 5-10 minute segments to get a feel for what it's about. So I'm like I said, I'm just having fun with the video, man. Well, I'm still learning, but it's great.
Well, you got to, and so far, here's the thing. There are other contemporaries out there that obviously do podcast, video cast, things like that. Mm-hmm. And between you and I, for the history of the show, whether it's the web or whether it's the audio or whether it's the recording or whatever it is, we're homegrown.
Yeah,
everything we've done behind the scenes to either bring you the show, record the show, bring you podcasts, bring you video, bring you this, it's you and me. That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
It's not like we have a team of people who, step in there and bring in the production crew and bring in the audio crew and bring in the consultants to figure out your technical angle.
No, there's nobody sitting over here running a board. There's nobody sitting in front of you running your camera.
Exactly.
It's me and you dicking around with this stuff endlessly.
Yeah.
And dude, I'm beyond excited about our first extra that we're going to record Wednesday. That's going to be great, don't you think?
Yeah, I think so. I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure that'll be our first. Obviously we've done a similar thing with Ron Keel, and we did it with John Levin, and we did it with
just Eden.
Yeah, exactly. And it's definitely a work in progress to coordinate three entities into one video and make it watchable. Yeah.
No, it's going to be great, and it's fun. And I'll tell what it is. It's not like it's a secret. Like, oh, look at this surprise. We I reached out to my new best friends in Last Crack, and we're going to do an hour and a half, whatever it turns into, of talking about our favorite bands that did not make it big, and basically it's going to be us and Last Crack, all five guys from Last Crack, and we're all going to offer up a band and talk through it and tell stories and whatnot. But it's going to be cool. It's going to be them in their studio. They're actually giving us the first hour or so of their practice that night, and it's going to be all wired up and stuff, and vocally cool, and this is going to be another step forward, doing a whole band. We'll see how that works out. So should be fun though. I was talking to Paul Schluter, the guitar player, during the week, and he's an engineer, which I loved hearing that from the start. He's an engineer, and immediately he's like, well, do you want me to plug in mics, or do you want to just do it with a webcam? I was like, oh no, plug in mics.
Yeah, if you got professional sound, let's do that.
Yeah. I was like, give us professional mics, give us good sound, and they're jacked to do it. They're very appreciative of all the coverage we've given them, and it was as easy as, hey, you guys want to do this? And they were like, yeah, cool. So opportunity number one. And I've talked, there's 2, 3, 4, and 5 that are on the way, because I've talked to, quite a few musicians now that have said that they're willing to do it. And some of them are guys that are friends of the show, Ferentinos and Billy, and John Levin is in to do something. And, but then some of them are guys that people may not know, they don't know them as friends of the show. They obviously know their bands, but dude, I've been talking to everybody and anybody now. I want to turn this into a thing, and make it I want to make the subscription service. I think it's worth it anyway at whatever it is, $6 or whatever that is. But, I want to make it so that people are easily getting $7 worth instead of $6.
Yeah. Yeah, give them their money's worth.
Hell yeah.
Well, again, we certainly wouldn't do this if we didn't give you a quality show, and right. we certainly don't want to be a dose of Landis or three sides of the coin. No. we want to give you your money's worth.
You don't want to shake the cup?
No, I don't want to do that, and I don't want to be one of those where they have one microphone and they pass it from guy to guy either.
Hey, what do you think of that? It was great. What about you? Yeah, it's fantastic.
I still laugh about that Jack Russell interview that A Dose of Landis did. Yeah. Oh, boy, was that just a train wreck.
It really was not good.
Yeah, still laugh about that.
All right, somebody told me it's $6.95, so I want to give you $7.95's worth of entertainment. What do you think of that? $7.95 for only $6.95.
Right.
That is a steal.
That is a deal.
That's the bomb diggity, as they say.
Yeah, what is that? That's like a 20 or 25% savings right there.
We're not going to do math here, dude. Because we're going to be wrong, and I know already that that's not 20%.
Well, $1 of 10 would be 10%, right?
Yeah.
So it's only $7, and you're giving them $1 extra's worth.
I'm not even going to attempt it because I know I'll be wrong. I'll up and say, yeah, it's 85% savings.
It's like a 15% savings. So there you go. It's an 18.5% savings.
There you go. Like I said, it's 85% off.
Right, exactly. Well, if you haven't subscribed, how do they find it, Chris? Where do they go? All that good stuff.
Easiest way to get there is go to theclassicmetalshow.com and on the links at the top, or if they're on their phone, on the links on the side when you click the little linky thing, just click subscribe. It'll take you right to it.
Very nice.
It's the easiest, peasiest way to get there.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I was talking about that WSTB thing.
Yeah.
And I was looking at their whole donation thing because I want to throw a couple of dollars at them.
Okay, you better do it tonight because I think tonight's the last night.
Okay, well maybe I'll do it during the show.
All right.
I'll do it during the show. Well, let's do it right now. Well, I don't have my wallet with me. I'm probably going to need a credit card or something.
Well, do it at the break.
Yeah, we'll do it next break. But anyway, I was thinking that they got these various levels of donations. They've got the citizen of the alternation. That's what they call their radio station now, because when the alternative music scene kicked in, back into the 90s and stuff, that's kind of where they focused their energy. But when I had joined the station, it was the underground. It was a metal station.
Right, sure.
And the whole Columbine thing happened, and there was all this questionable, how influential are Marilyn Manson and people like that? Are they driving these kids to shoot up their schools?
Right.
And so in order to try to squelch any kind of possible allegations or hoopla, they decided to change format so they would dodge a bullet that this type of music is driving these kids to shoot up their schools.
Yeah.
Now, if we play Nickelback, they'll be kind to their mothers.
They'll shoot themselves.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So anyway, regardless of that, they allowed me to host the Classic Metal Show there for 7 years.
Right.
And they gave me a nice little plaque when I left the station, when I relocated here. And I've got it up on my wall, and they sent me off with a little plaque commemorating my 7 years of doing the show on the station. So I thought, okay, I need to give back, because without WSTB, I may not have pursued making the show.
Right, sure.
Well, anyway, they have various levels of donation, and they have one where it's just being a citizen. Then they got the Patriot of the alternation, which is $50.
Right.
Then they got the Super Citizen at $75. And then they've got the Honored Citizen at $125.
Right.
And then they've got business donations, which I was looking at, what do you get for your donation? Mm-hmm. So I'm looking here, and it says we have 2 levels of business donor to give your business and the exposure you're looking for. So at the $200 level, this is what you get.
All right.
You get the donation of $200. You can get an extended business donor announcement twice daily for a month.
Wow.
Once between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m., and then again between 3 p.m. and 6 p.m., Monday through Friday, for a month.
That's pretty good.
You can choose the month that fits your needs, and then they got the $100 level, which at this level, your business can get sponsored for just 1 week of weather.
Well.
So Bob Long would say, I'm Bob Long. This is brought to you by the Classic Metal Show, where those 2 assholes, Neeley and Chris, who were once alumni of this station, they just wanted their names mentioned again.
Yeah. And then Bob would end it by going, and for 88.9, I'm Bob Long. Remember he takes that big-ass pause?
Exactly.
His signature.
Exactly. So I'm thinking, just for shits and giggles, I'm thinking throwing them the $200.
Look at you, Mr. Moneybags.
Well, it's not that. Well, it is, and it's not. I think it'd be fun to see if they would sponsor a show on a show.
Oh, yeah, that would be good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, you're listening to this radio station, but we're advertising another radio show. You see what I'm saying here?
I like it.
So do you think they would do it?
I think Bob knows me and you personally. I think for sure he would do it.
Yeah. But then I'm thinking, well, there might be some backlash.
Why?
Because of somebody who's kind of an uppity person and say, I'm going to give that show a listen, and they hear some segment that they might find objectionable.
Hey, sorry.
They might go, I can't believe you're advertising for these guys, these racist, homophobic asshole, blah, 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 whatever it is.
I say do it anyway.
Well, I'm not saying I won't. I'm just trying to see all sides, because then, the station's got to go, well, they did give us the $200 and we did say, and we didn't throw any restrictions in there.
Yeah.
I don't see anything that restricts you, that only certain types of businesses or, You know
what, man? If Bob, first of all, if they had a problem, Bob would probably call you and give you your money back. That's the first thing.
Well, even if he offered, I wouldn't take it.
I know, but I mean, the second thing is, look, I donated already. They didn't have a problem with that, and I donated on behalf of the show.
Yeah, I know, but you don't get mentioned on the air twice a day for a month.
No, but I did get mentioned. The show got mentioned. So if somebody heard that show, if somebody heard, and I'll just say I donated the citizen level. I just threw them $25.
Right, I get you.
And they came right on at like 5 minutes after I did and said, hey, we want to thank Chris from the Classic Metal Show in Twinsburg for...
that's just one shot. It's not like somebody's going to look that up by hearing your name once, but this is twice a day for a month.
I wouldn't even worry about it.
Well, it's not a worry. I'm just thinking, it's interesting. That's what I'm bringing it up for. It'd be kind of funny.
What'll be more funny is if Bob goes on and he talks about the sponsorship.
Yeah.
Oh, these guys are both alumni of the station or whatever. Then somebody really goes and listens. It's like, Jesus, this is what you guys put out of this place?
Yeah. Are these the people you associate with? You associate with those guys? Did you hear what they said?
Their content is flabbergasting.
Yeah. So I'm thinking next break, I donate the $200.
Yeah, dude, I'm for it. That's so good. That is so good. I didn't even think of the repercussions about what we do. But
dude, I think about all this shit all the time.
That's really funny. I like it.
I do too.
I like that we're causing trouble even when we're trying to be genuine.
Well, it's just like here. I'm throwing you a little bit of green. You mentioned my show twice a day for a month.
Yeah.
Yeah. Want to hear this?
Yeah, send me some sound checks too.
Yeah. So, chat room, what do you think? Think I should do that? Would that be fun? Now, if I do that, I expect at least one or two of you to throw a couple bucks that way too. And even it's just the 25. Just say thanks for launching the show that you love so much.
Yeah, because really, both of us got our start there.
We did, absolutely.
You got it from your internship, and I got it as a student when I was in high school. I had the Chris Aiken experience on 88.9 or on 91.5 at that point.
Yeah, it was 91.5.
91.5 V-Rock.
Mm-hmm.
We were V-Rock back then.
Right.
Which made no sense because the letters were WSTV. I didn't understand what the V was, but...
Not really sure.
I don't know. I never did understand that.
The underground.
Yeah. I wish there was tape of that.
What's that?
I really wish there was tape of you saying, yeah, that was Helmet with In the Meantime, and here's some Corn with Faggot.
I don't know that I have that. I know that I used to do air check tapes just to listen to myself at first. So I may have some early stuff, but I don't know where it is. I have it. I just would have to dig it out.
You had to be going crazy for those first 3 hours.
The thing is that I started my internship there in September.
Okay.
And I did September through December, and then after 4 months, then that's when I approached Bob and I said, "Hey, is there any chance that I could do a specialty show?"
Right.
And he was like, "Well, if you have the catalog, yeah, you could do that." So what I did is that I did my normal shift from 6 to midnight.
Right.
And then they allowed me to do 2 hours of the classic metal show.
Oh, wow.
So I went from 6 until 2.
Okay.
Well, then they started getting the what is it? The
Arbitron.
Yeah, Arbitron ratings, and that little 2 hour slot got a lot of play.
Okay.
And so I came back. I don't know. It was they always did the summer break thing.
Sure.
And when I came back, then I expanded the show to 4 hours, and then it went to 6 hours.
Right.
And then all I did was the classic metal show from 9 to 3.
Okay.
So that's how the show became 6 hours. It originally started out as just 2.
Wow. Boy, I'm sure some people wish it was still just 2.
Who would that be? You don't have to listen. Don't listen.
Anybody that hates us or hates those couple of hours when it turns politics or whatever.
Yeah, well, whatever. You know what the thing is that there's something in it for everyone.
Yeah. Don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah, don't listen. That's the whole thing. You have the choice not to listen.
Exactly.
So, but boy, I'll tell you what, the CMS email has been busy this week.
I saw that.
There is a shit ton of emails in here that, boy, I'll tell you what, people are checking in right and left and go, oh man, I got this for this, and I got to... So people throwing in their stories, which is funny to me, and I think I've even made this point before. Mm-hmm. People obviously read these stories for themselves.
Sure.
But for whatever reason, they need us to read it and give everybody our take for whatever reason, for whatever that's worth.
Their thought isn't, this is absurd. Their thought is, what would these guys say about
Yeah, what would they say about this?
Which is funny because we're no different than you.
That's my point. That's kind of where I'm going with it. It's like, well, what makes my opinion or thoughts any different than yours or Chris's? It's like,
this that makes us all knowledgeable and everything.
Yeah, I guess. So I just think I find it interesting and I find it flattering.
Sure.
And it also helps me with my show prep because that's basically what I do throughout the whole week is I just find material just by chance and go, oh, yeah, that'll be something for the show. Oh, that'll be something for the show.
You didn't need to do any because I sent you a few and
you did.
Sent 100.
Yeah, and I think I submitted like 4 or 5 this week myself.
I have a feeling we're not getting to everything.
Oh, no, we're not going to get to everything. So I got to cherry pick the best stuff.
Sure. Well, and I have one good story to tell too about, obviously the Sammy Hagar story. So, there's a story there that was kind of funny.
Okay.
Do you want me to tell it now?
Yeah, tell it now. I mean, we're in the first hour here, so we're a few minutes away from a break. So go for it.
All right. Well, I obviously went out and saw Sammy Hagar in a Circle on Sunday, and it's Sammy and Michael Anthony and Jason Bonham and Vic Johnson. That's who makes up the Circle.
Okay.
And the show is a combination of Van Halen tunes, the Van Halen tunes that are Sammy's.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Led Zeppelin. They play one Led Zeppelin tune. And some of Sammy's solo stuff and little Montrose. It's like Sammy's career, more or less. It was a great show. I'm not going to get into a whole thing about, well, they played this and that and whatever. They played enough Van Halen songs to make everybody happy, and then they played, what you would expect. I Can't Drive 55, and they played Right Now, and they played Why Can't This Be Love, blah, blah, blah. They played the right songs. And that was fine. But The funny story has to do with the seating. So I got my seats from my friend Randy Earhart, who, thank you so much, Randy, because they were really pretty good seats. And as you remember, I was telling you, the tickets were $189 a piece. So Randy got us 4 tickets for $60 a piece, which was just nice price. So our tickets we were section 6, I think, either 4 or 6, and we were seats 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you would think that's right on the end, right? Well, it wasn't. It ended up being the first row, which was nice, or the second row. But what it was the way they have this set up. You know how you have the aisle that you would go up?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The aisle that you would go up, instead of being where it normally sits for every other concert I've ever been to in my life, where you go up it and then the first seat next to you is seat 1 of the row.
Right.
It was in between for the first couple of rows. So we didn't know this going in, and we thought we had the first 4 seats. Well, when we get to our seats, it was 1 and 2, then the walkway, and then 3 and 4.
Okay. So you were split.
Yeah, so it was split.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go to get into our seats, it was me, John, and Stephanie. It was supposed to be Kelly, but she bailed last second. She bailed out on the show. So I was like, okay, cool. Fat guy gets an extra seat. Awesome deal. I like it. So we go to get to our seats, and instead of being 1, 2, 3, and 4, where we could have gone 1, a space, 3, and 4, and that would have been good, it was 1 and 2, and then 3 and 4, split up.
Okay.
And when we got there was a guy sitting in seat 1. And I was like, so then you come up with the problem. Do you tell the guy to beat it? What do you tell him? It's your seat, but he's not really hurting anything. The show hadn't started.
Right.
Whatever. And I didn't want to be a total dick about it. I did not want to be a dick and say, hey, pal, this is my seat that's not being used. Scram.
Yeah.
I didn't want to be a dick about it.
Well,
so,
you could have said, the reason I bought 2 seats is because I don't want to sit next to anyone.
Because I'm a big fat slug. That's why I have the seat. But I didn't. I pussed out, to be honest.
Right.
And so I sit down, and he's sitting down, and about 10 minutes in, I was like, all right, I got to figure out how to get this fucking guy out of here.
Mm-hmm.
So I said to the guy, I looked at the guy, and I said, hey, just so you know, my girlfriend's going to be coming over here eventually.
Right.
So when she comes, you're going to have to move. And that was with the thought of, okay, well, he'll just disappear here in the next minute or 2.
Sure.
He'll get up and he'll move away, and then I don't have to be a total fucking asshole.
Okay. All right.
But so then the show starts, okay?
Yeah.
The show starts, everybody stands up. Any show, right? The show is started, and it's happening. He's standing up, I'm standing up. But he's not moving away from the thing. And he didn't have to step down any. He was standing on the floor, because row B is like the first row of seats, like off of the floor itself. So if you stand up, you're actually standing on the floor. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. I get what you're saying.
Okay. So he's standing there, and I'm standing there, and the music's playing, but he's not going anywhere. And I'm like, son of a bitch, this guy's going to call me out for being a lying fucking faggot.
Yeah.
So Billy comes over. Billy was playing the other room after Sammy ended. So Billy comes walking over, and I grabbed Billy, and I said, hey, what's up, man? And Billy comes over and he stands next to me and this guy.
Yeah.
The guy looks at me like, look at this fucking homo.
That's your girlfriend?
My girlfriend. and I didn't even let on to it. I just was like, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
Glad you made it. You know?
Yeah.
And I'm totally saying things like that too. Not like, hey, you know, what do you think? Or I'm like, hey, glad you made it. Like, hey, my girlfriend.
Yeah, there you go.
And the guy just gave me this look of absolute horror.
Right.
And just fucking walked away.
Then you should have started raising a fuss and started calling bigot, homophobe. Don't you know it's Pride Month? What's wrong with you? Accept my gayness, will you?
Exactly. Accept my faggotry here.
Right.
But yeah, so that was my fun story. Billy none the wiser. Billy.
Yeah, well, why would he be?
Yeah, Billy's like, hey, can I sit here? I was like, sure, it's your seat now.
Right.
But yeah, it was just funny the way that all worked itself out.
Sure.
So that was my fun story from the Sammy Hagar show.
Well, there you go.
Show. Very good show. It was. If it's coming to your town, it's not worth $189. I will say that.
It's a good show, just not worth that kind of money.
Well, dude, I mean, I was surprised how many. I mean, it was pretty close to sold out, I would think. I was surprised how many people were actually there, you know, and I know not all of them got the deal I got.
Well, of course not.
I mean, most of them paid that $189.
Well, you got 3 tickets for the price of 1.
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I mean, it was way, and I get it was a benefit, and, you know, it was a benefit for children's hospital or some shit. But I don't care what it was a benefit for. They better have a guaranteed cure that they're unveiling on that stage for $200 a ticket for Sammy fucking Hagar. Sorry. You know, this is a guy that does not need to be fucking charging that much money.
Yeah.
He's got his money. Good show, though. It was worth $75 a ticket.
Okay.
If we would have spent $75 a ticket, I'd have been happy with that show. $189, if I'd have paid that much, I'd have been fucking looking for a gun to machine gun people.
Nice.
But yeah, good time. So that was my foray out this week. I may or may not go out this coming week to go see Collective Soul and Gin Blossoms.
Yeah, that'd be a tough sell for me to even think about leaving the house for that.
Yeah, I have tickets. I got, because I interviewed the Collective Soul guy, I got an email this week saying that I have tickets, but
you went, yeah,
you know, I think what I'm going to end up doing is probably I'll show up at the Roxino and I'll trade them to our good friend Matt for a drink. I'll make Matt buy me a drink at the bar, and then I'll give him my tickets.
Nice.
You know, and that'll do, because it's not so much Collective Soul that I couldn't sit through. I could sit through them. I like some of their songs.
Well, I do too, but I don't know that I would go see them. I mean, I like some of their stuff. I do like. I'm not big on their whole catalog. I mean, I know the hits.
I just don't know that I could stomach the Gin Blossoms. Hey, jealousy! Hey, jealousy!
I think that's the only song I know.
If you heard a few of them, you'd know. I don't know any of the song names, but I was listening to it today trying to make a decision, and I was like, all right, I know like 4 of these songs, and I don't like any of them. So I was like, ooh, am I really going to sit through an hour and 15 minutes of this?
I'm going to say no.
And I even looked it up, and they're playing like 14 songs. I'm like, 14 miserable songs. That's a lot of wasted time.
And a lot of sadness. Those songs are not uplifting at all.
No, not at all.
They're all just that was probably one of the saddest decades ever. Just listening to that sad music.
It really is.
It was just the depressing, sad decade when it came to music.
Yeah, it's like, get on the microphone and cry music.
Yeah. Stand there and look down at your shoes.
Exactly. I'm so sad.
Life is miserable. It sucks.
It's just the worst. And here's 10 songs about how bad my life sucks.
Yeah. I did not enjoy that decade at all.
Hey, jealousy.
Exactly. Exactly. That's why I was so happy in '99 when Erase the Slate came out.
Yeah, it erased that slate.
It did. It was just like, holy shit, Dokken is back. Because when they tried Shadow Life, it was just like, oh no.
What happened?
What are you guys doing? I was enjoying Dysfunctional so much, and this is what you followed up with?
Right.
What the fuck? And then, of course, Erase the Slate came out, and they go, yeah!
It's a puppet on a string.
Oh, boy.
Ugh. Garbage. Garbage.
Yeah, not good.
Nope. Not at all. Speaking of that, I saw your boy was on Eddie Trunk this week.
Who?
George.
Oh, George, yeah. George is on Eddie all the time.
Yeah, he had that same shit phone that he uses for us.
I think George calls into Eddie's show at least once a month.
Yeah, well, there's obviously a tin can and a string that leads from his trailer to Eddie's studio because it sounds awful.
Yeah.
It definitely was the typical George. What's going on? It's awful.
Mm.
But, yeah, and they were asking him about Mick and, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. I listened to it. It was okay.
Yeah. Well, since I haven't had XM in the car since November, I haven't missed it a minute.
Yeah, well, you know what I noticed this week, and I looked for it because I was listening to a lot of the Eddie Trunk stuff. Either Sirius or Eddie himself has cracked down on YouTube.
Oh, I know. I noticed all of his videos are like disappearing.
They're gone.
Yeah. Well, we experienced that last week when I was looking for him going off on David Lee Roth.
Yeah.
Because I just watched it that afternoon, and by showtime it was gone.
No, well, I wonder if we'll get hit for those at some point, copyright things for us playing them.
I think for us, I would think it would be fair use.
It should be fair use, but who knows? The way YouTube is just wiping everybody off the map.
Well, we will talk a little bit about that because this week has been probably the biggest purge of YouTube's history.
Be honest, did you look this week at all just to see if we were still there?
No, I did not.
I did several times.
Well, the thing is that they're not removing channels. They're just demonetizing the entire channel rather than demonetizing videos. Right. And since we don't count on anything from YouTube, we don't care. Even if we were monetized and we got demonetized for the whole channel, it's just like, yeah, so, and?
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But for the people who make money, that's what they make their living off of.
Yeah,
it's kind of a big deal for them.
Well, I hope when they get to us, they just demonetize us instead of wiping the
Well,
channel.
that's the new strategy now. Instead of getting backlash for removing videos or removing content creators, now they're just saying, well, we're taking all your money away.
Well, it's fine with me.
Well, it's fine with me too, but people like, and I'm not going to get into it now, but the people who create on YouTube just, because that's what they make their living doing, those are the ones who are really hurting because that's a big chunk of money for them.
Sure. No, they gotta do it in other places. That's
I agree, but the whole thing about that is, well, if we take away your money, we'll eventually get rid of you too.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I get it. I get why it's a problem for, these guys. But at the same time, I blame them. They're putting all their eggs in one basket.
Well, I agree with that, and we'll talk a little more in depth about that a little bit later because that is a subject. I'm not going to drag it out for an hour, but a lot of things have happened this week. It's all crumbling down. Mm-hmm. Crumbling down.
Yep.
So
keep telling me how I'm wasting my time taking everything off of the
yeah. It's all it's all closing in.
Yep, just keep reminding me of that.
Mm-hmm.
Keep reminding me of it in like 6 weeks when we're gone, but we're still on BitChute and Dailymotion and Vimeo. Keep reminding me when you still have a place to go listen to this shit.
Right. I was listening to Mark Levin this week.
Yeah.
And, he was kind of supporting Steven Crowder, who kind of was the one who got into the we'll talk about this, got into the big tangled web here that kind of started all this.
Sure.
But he made a good point, and it's kind of what we're attempting to do as well, but with establishing Levin TV, and now, of course, he's with the Blaze, where it's Blaze TV now. Mm-hmm. They too saw the writing on the wall to where they weren't going to depend on another system or another platform to air their shows and whatnot, that they would make their own platform, and no one will ever be able to take that down.
Mm-hmm. That's what it's coming to these days.
Yep.
Dude, I was, it's not ready to be launched yet, so I'm not like announcing anything, but I'll just tell people I have been steadily at work on the back end of the Classic Metal site building our own podcast center, so that if and when, and I mean, we've heard nothing to make this sound like it's going to happen, but if it ever comes down to where it's removed from Apple Music or iTunes or whatever they're going to call it now, or removed from Spreaker, that we're still not going to get hurt.
Right.
Because I'm building our own platform directly into the website, so that we can just upload it directly to the website if we have to, and we'll still have an RSS where people can, plug it into their player, their Overcast, or their podcast app, or whatever they use, and still get the show every day.
Yeah.
Gotta stay ahead of the game. One of the blessings, and I'm not patting myself on the back, it's just a luck of the draw that this is the career I'm in, is that one half of our show is technical.
Right.
Is a tech guy. If I was a carpenter or something, we might be a lot of fuck.
That's true. Absolutely.
Because neither one of us would know how to do all this shit.
Yeah, we would have to learn it on the everything that I do on a equipment end and audio end and sound engineering. I learned all this on my own.
Oh, sure. I'm not saying we couldn't learn it.
Yeah, but we're way ahead of the game just because of the fact that that's what you do on your end.
Exactly. The fact that I don't get intimidated by code like everybody else does because I'm used to seeing it all the time, makes it a whole lot easier to do different things with the show.
Right.
And it's, the way that it's all crumbling right now, it's going to end up being a blessing here.
I agree.
So.
All right. Well, somebody who wants to pay us accolades as we go into this break is our good friend Brian Stone.
All right.
Sent us a little note this week.
All right.
Neeley, lately you and Chris have been putting 110% into the show. What were we doing before, 90% or something?
About 55.
55? And so I want to request a tune for those who can't handle metal or the CMS values. He wants to hear some Kick-Axe, Too Loud, Too Old.
All right.
Off the Welcome to the Club release from 85, man.
Yeah, man. Old school.
Yeah. So, hail and kill, fuck the CMS haters, and hand job.
All right.
So, we're going to take a little break, play some Kick-Axe for Brian. So, here it is. It's Kick-Axe from the Welcome to the Club release with Too Loud, Too Old exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.
This is Larry Gilstrom from Kick-Axe, and you're cranking it on the Classic Metal Show.